Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. Usually when the weather, and I've been feeling this in the air, when the weather gets warmer and people are graduating and things are going on at the end of May, beginning of June, we're kind of settling into the summer routine. It kind of seems to get a little bit out of balance. So I was doing my own yoga practice yesterday and my body just kept calling for balance. And I started thinking, well, that's kind of what we need. So that's going to be the theme today. I drew a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and that card is Deep Diver. So diving into a task. So we're going to dive into the task of balance in its many, many forms. So anything that I read will be from that. So we're going to start just balancing with some breath, some sun and moon breath, some right nostril, left nostril breath. So how we do this, and we've done this quite a bit with, and you can use your right hand. Let's use the right hand for this. So we've done this at Big Bend, alternate nostril breathing. So your last two fingers are up and your thumb is up. The first two are down. And you'll close off the left side of your nostril and breathe in the right. And you're going to breathe up to the third eye. And then close off the right and hold that breath for 2. And then we'll exhale through the left for 4. And then pause for 2. And then inhale through the left for 4 and pause for 2. And then exhale through the right. So if you get lost, just do the breath count. If you can't get the opening and closing of the nostrils, just let that part go and just breathe with me with the count. So it's inhaling for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4, hold for 2. Okay, so let's start with the right now. Inhale, hold, close it off, exhale left, hold. Inhale left, hold, close off the left, exhale right. Pause. Inhale, right. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Close it off. Exhale. Now let's do 3 more rounds on your own. And 1 more round, and then until you get to where you're exhaling out of your right nostril. And then let it go. And let your breathing return to its normal pattern. But just focusing now on the breath going through both nostrils up to the third eye and then back out both nostrils, just at whatever pace that you want to go to, but just focusing on the direction up to the third eye and then out. Shift the focus of where the breath is coming in. Breathe it into your heart and let that heart space expand. And then exhale through the area of your heart. So we're just filling the heart space with the prana, with the life force, and then sharing it, exhaling it out. And then shift the focus to the belly. Inhaling into the belly, make it a big round inhale, expanding the front and the back. And then exhale, completely empty everything out. And then just shift your focus to your base chakra, where you're seated, your sit bones. And then shift your focus to the earth star chakra, which is 3 feet below where you're seated, where your sit bones are. And then take the focus deeper, dive deeper down into the center of the earth. And then breathe that energy from the center of the earth up through the center of your body. And then just let it spill out the top of your head on the exhale, like a fountain of crystalline light from the center of the earth up through the center of you. And keep that pattern going. The deep diver invites you to take the plunge with him. You can't see the bottom, but you must swim into the dark depths to find the mystery that eludes you now. He knows where the pearls lie underneath the ancient sand. So let's look for those pearls that lie beneath the ancient sands in our practice today. So go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed, and then just gently begin to roll over onto your back. And pull your knees in towards your chest. And just take a little pause there, holding on to your knees, letting your back settle, let the back of the heart, the back of the sacrum, and then open your arms out to the side and begin to let your knees just go side to side. Just so you're rolling, keep it small first, just rolling from sacrum to sacrum. Then you can let it go a little bit further, but not all the way down yet. Maybe about halfway down if you can get there. And then let the knees pause over onto the right side. And let your right hand come to the top of the left leg and give it a little bit of pressure. And then if it's okay for your neck, turn your head to the left. so that you're balancing that weight with the knees to the right, the head, your vision towards the left. So the right side represents the sun, the masculine, and the left side, the moon, the feminine. And then bring your knees back up. Then take that roll again, side to side. And then let your knees fall over to the left side and pause here. Take the left hand on top of the right leg and then look over to the right. And balance. Feel that energy moving through your left or your right arm out through your palm. And just like we were really expanding with the breath when we were seated in the belly, see if you can do that now. That same kind of deep dive deep into that breath expansion. And then back to the center. And hang on to your knees again. And this time let's take rolls. Roll the knees away from each other and then towards each other. Just opening out into big circles, warming up those hip joints. And then switch the direction of those circles. And then hold the knees out in the position where they're in the outer position. And you can keep hanging on to your shins, or if you're ready, you can take your feet up and take a dead bug pose. But just pause here. And then roll right and left. And then release, bring the knees together. And either roll onto one side and come up onto your sit bones, and we'll go into boat pose, or you can roll on your back and come on up. So once you find that balance, come on up and just take a half boat pose. We'll return to this later and do a full one, but just take a half one. Maybe give your shoulders a roll up, back and down, and then let the front of the heart lift up. And take your vision to a place that's comfortable. Your head you don't have to look way up. You can just look straight ahead at your toes. And then put your feet down on the ground and open the knees out and stay upright for a moment. Just looking for some space in the spine to balance the soft tissue and the hard tissue, the bones and the connective tissue. And then you want to take a little bit of a forward bend, just go halfway. We'll return to this one as well and take it a little bit further later. Just looking for that balance between the forward bend and the upright position, that middle place. So balancing the polarities today. And then roll yourself up, take your hands behind you and take your feet a little wider than your hips, and then let the knees start to roll here. And then let them pause on one side, it doesn't matter which side, and then turn towards that side where the knees are, and then take a look behind you. Take a little twist here. So now balancing between the ground, the feeling of gravity, and your spine expanding. Even though you're twisting, your spine is still finding that place of expansion, that space between the backbones. And then come on back, face the front again, take the knees side to side. until you're ready to land on the other side, and then take the twist on this side. And you can stay on your palms, you can come to your forearms on this twist. Where you go is not as important as where you focus, how you focus, where you're landing. Focusing on the breath, the space. Okay, and then come on up, give the knees a roll again. And then come on up to your hands and knees on your mat. And begin to move between your cat and cow. And then take a pause in the cat pose with the back arched up. Release the head. And take a few deep breaths. Remember that belly breath that we took. And my hips kind of want to wag side to side here and give the side body a little stretch. If that feels like it's the right thing for you to do, then do so. And then from there, begin to roll your hips around your knees. Then roll them the other way. And then pause in the middle in the table pose and come into the cow tilt or dog tilt. Spread the fingers wide. It's about the grounding of the palms, the base of the fingers, all four corners of the palm. And then begin to tuck the toes under and take the hips back towards the heels, and just pause here for a moment and let your arms extend a little more, perhaps come up onto your fingertips. And then roll yourself up in a cat tilt and keep rolling forward until you come into some sort of cobra that you're ready for. If you're not ready for cobra, you can just come into the table position in a cow tilt. But we'll just go back and forth. Some sort of deeper, diving deeper into this cat tilt and dog tilt. And the next time the hips are back, rest there again in your child's pose with your arms extended. And this time, let's walk the hands over to the right and let that left sit bone settle down towards the heel a little more. You can untuck the toes or keep them tucked, to your choice. Find the space between the ribs and between the rib cage and the hip. Other side. Deep breaths, just like we did in the beginning, letting the belly move as you receive the breath. The belly expands. Then come back center. Come on up to table again. Tuck the toes under. Find your half down dog. Really let those sit bones reach up towards the sky, the ceiling. And then begin to move and straighten one leg and keep the other one bent. And then go back and forth a few times. And when you're ready, settle into your full down dog. Let those heels be pulled down by gravity and let those sit bones be reaching up through the light air, balancing earth and air. Okay, then walk your feet up towards your hands. In whatever arm position will serve this forward, your first standing forward bend. Let your head release. And then begin to roll yourself up. And when you get to the top, let your palms come together and let your index fingers reach up. Really balancing those polarities now between earth and sky, rounding and lifting. Expanding the belly in the center with the breath. And then exhale all the way back down. Come up halfway and let's bend the left knee. Take the left hand to the outside of the right foot. Take the right hand to the sacrum and begin to turn and open. And then adjust your arm if you want to lift it or wrap it around. Or you could go for the bind if you have that kind of flexibility in your shoulders with the left hand under and the right arm around. And then release down, exhale, forward bend. Roll yourself up. This time clasp the hands together and turn the palms up towards the sky. And while you're doing that, lift and spread your toes and put them back down. So solid grounding and expanded lifting. Now breathe into the belly. And exhale back down. And let's bend the right knee. Take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Left palm to sacrum, then begin to turn and take that twist. Adjusting the left hand, you can lift it up, you can wrap it around, you can take the bind. Really turn and open that heart towards the left. Balancing any sensation with the breath. Let the breath tell you, is it too much sensation or can I balance this sensation with the breath? Let it go, roll it back up. This time when the palms come together up above, bring them to your heart. And take a little pause in your mountain pose. Let your arms release. Palms reaching towards the front of the mat. Feel that little bit of lift coming up through the arches of the feet, the inner legs, center of the body. Remember how we drew that energy from the center of the earth up through the center of the body and then spilled it out through the top of the head. And circle your arms around. Come on into your chair pose. Exhale, take your forward bend. Inhale, come on up halfway. Let's take that right foot back and the heel down. Come into your warrior one. Separate your feet a little so you feel like you're balanced on that balance beam instead of the train track, or on the train track, I'm sorry, instead of the balance beam. Makes sense to say balance on a balance beam. Okay. And then let's bend the elbows if you haven't already and feel those shoulder blades coming together and the heart taking a little more lift and coming into a little bit more of a back bend here. And then lift the arms, straighten the leg and feel that lift through the sides of the body. And then again, bend the knee, bend the arms. And then lift, straighten the leg. You can bring the palms together on the lift part if you want. Let's do that. And pause here. Take the index fingers up. And then come back into the bended position. Take the hands back, keep the elbows bent for a moment and bring the elbows together, closer together. And feel now how that's balancing that stretch more on the upper body, across the front of the chest. And then extend those arms. And it feels good for me when my arms are extended to look straight forward and let the chin be pretty much parallel, a little less than parallel with the ground. And then if you want to take a forward bend, come to the inside of the leg. Let your head release. Feel the core engage. So don't make your legs do all the work. Balance, balance, balance it with the core. Then come all the way back up, straighten that front leg, lift the arms. And then come all the way back down. From reaching up to the sky down to the ground, move that back leg back more. Take that back knee down. So feel more of the back leg grounding now with the knee down. And then from there, from that grounded feeling, lift the arms back up. And then turn the palms so that they're down towards the ground and just reaching out from your shoulders in a T position from your body. And then turn to the right so that you've kind of got warrior two arms going on. Take that right arm to the right leg and take the left arm up. And then bring both arms back up, turn and face the front, and now turn to the opposite direction, to the left, and take the left hand to the right thigh and take the right arm beside the ear. And then take that right hand down to the ground. Slide your left hand up on your sacrum so you can get that turn with the heart, and then lift that left arm up. And then circle the left arm to the outside of the left leg. And then let's come into a forward bend here. Or you can move a little bit first, maybe back and forth a couple times. Then pause and focus on the forward bend. How can you balance this? Do the hips feel like they're level? Can you release the head a little bit more? Okay, then put that left foot down. Pick up that right knee. Take the left foot back. Come on into your down dog. Move through your vinyasa if you want, or rest in your child's pose. Then find yourself in a place where you can bring your feet back up to the front of the mat. Exhale in your forward bend. And inhale all the way back up. Bring your palms to your heart. Start at that chair, at that mountain pose. And then we'll move into chair pose. Lifting the arms. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Now the left foot's going to go back and the heel down, starting with your warrior one. Let the arms lift. Get that balance with the outer edges of the feet grounded. And then Bend the arms. Feel those shoulder blades coming closer together and the heart lifting. And then try to keep that lift as you reach the arms up and straighten the front leg, then bend again and lift. And let's stay with the bent position. Take the hands back behind you, keep the elbows bent, let the elbows come closer together. So let that call you into a deeper back bend. Keep the elbows bent for a moment. Breathe, now breathe into the heart, like we practiced in the beginning of the class. And then extend those arms and let that heart space expand a little bit more. And if you're coming forward, come to the inside of the leg, keeping the core nice and strong. And release the arms, reach up, straighten that front leg for a moment, bring the palms together, take the index fingers up, get nice and long, still grounding the outer edges of both feet. And then exhale, come back to the ground. Take that back leg back. Take the knee down. Pause here for a moment, let your hips sink down, and then when you feel nice and grounded, then lift away from that ground. Bring the hands up, let the palms face each other. And then turn the palms down so that they're in a T position outside your arms. And we're going to turn now to the left. Warrior two arms. And then let the left hand come to the left leg and let the right hand come beside the right ear. This is kind of like reverse warrior. Okay, then bring the arms back out to the warrior two position. And then face the front again, bringing your arms with you. And then turn now to the right. Let the right hand come to the right leg and let the left arm go beside the ear. It feels good to me to look back and down here, but see what your neck wants. And put the left hand down, let the right hand slide up the sacrum until you're turning and opening. And when you feel that maximum opening, then lift the arm. And circle that right hand to the outside of the right leg. Take a little movement from the lunge to the forward bend. Then when you're ready, landing in that forward bend. Level out the hips. Let your heart sink towards that right knee. Let your head release. Okay, then put that foot back down. Pick up the back knee. Bring the front foot back. Whatever you need to do to balance your practice, whether it's down dog stillness, whether it's child's pose stillness, whether it's moving through a vinyasa. Okay, then let your feet come up to the front of the mat. Take your forward bend. And roll yourself up. And then take a pause. Mountain pose. Pick up your right heel. Feel that energy coming up from the center of the earth through the center of your body. See if that knee wants to lift up. If it does, maybe you can circle that ankle around. See how your balance is doing. Can you take that foot back and come into warrior two position from here? Adjust your feet, however you got there. Doesn't matter. Keeping the palms down, look over your front hand. Get your gaze, your focus. Then turn the left palm up and let the right hand go to the right leg. Same thing that we did a moment ago, but we had our legs in a different position. See if it feels good to look down towards that right foot or up towards that left hand. Okay, then come forward into an extended side angle pose. Take that hand behind your head and get the head in alignment, in balance with the spine. And then take your arm back up softly. Lift back up. Come into your reverse warrior, this time straightening that front leg. And then slide yourself into a triangle pose. If you have a block handy, get it. We'll use it for triangle first. Take your hand, slide it to your sacrum this time, and then open that shoulder, the top shoulder up a little bit more. You have a little more space for the heart to expand, and then lift the arm. So make a decision if you want to stay here. We're in a half moon, exactly half tomorrow. So I'm going to lead us into a half moon if you choose. You may want to take it from a lunge. So coming into a lunge, then take that block that you have up in front of you for your left hand, and the right leg can lift in the right arm. Are you balanced? If you're in either pose, are your hips balanced? If you're in half moon, is the right hip stacked on top of the left? So if you're in half moon, we'll let that right leg come back down, bring the block back just for a moment, open back up into triangle pose. And then come on up, back to warrior two. Get yourself balanced. Look towards the center. Now let's take that right arm, the back arm, underneath the left and come into eagle arms. You can take an opposite shoulder with your palms. You can take the backs of your hands together. You can take the palms together. See if you can go a little bit deeper now. And take those arms away from your head so that you feel that separation. We had a lot of the shoulder blades coming together in warrior one. Now let's take them apart. And if you'd like a back bend here, you can lift the elbows up as well towards the sky. And release. Open the arms back out. Warrior two. And release them down. Turn the toes towards the front of the mat so that they're towards the long side. I'm sorry, towards the long side of the mat. The front being, for me, the front facing the computer. That's how I was thinking. Take your hands to your waist for a moment. Get that block if you want it, and put it right in the middle. And then come on forward. You can take your hands to the block or not. Let's start with a wide leg downward facing dog. So let your hands come out pretty far up above. Let your head release. And then just take a little wag with the hips left and right. You can keep moving or you can take a little pause and let your inner thigh have a really nice stretch. And then take your hands right underneath your head or your face. You can use the block underneath the right hand if you'd like or not. Take the left hand to the sacrum. Take a pause here for a moment. Breathe some space into that connective tissue between the backbones and then turn from the heart and open. And take that arm where it wants to go, maybe up, maybe around and tucked into that opposite hip crease. And again, your hips can move over towards the left, towards the open side. So the right inner thigh gets a nice stretch here. Okay, and then release. Come on down. Let's turn the fingers the opposite way towards the heels and walk them back beyond the heels. Bend your knees as much as you need to make this happen. Let your head release. Then come on back up. Take the left hand on the block or on the floor. Take the right hand to the sacrum. Stay here for a moment. Breathe. And then turn. And then adjust your arm. And then back around. Take your hands to your waist. Come on up. And let's turn the right toes out and the left toes in. Come into warrior two on this side now. Looking towards the right fingers for a moment. Get your focus. Turn the right palm up. Left hand to left leg, right arm beside the ear. If you can take it a little deeper. Adjust your view. You might want to look down or look up. Then bring it forward. Right arm to right leg, left hand. Let's start with it on the back of the head. Get that head so you can press it back into your hand. And so you feel that alignment and then lift the arm. It can go straight up. It can go beside the ear. Just ground that shoulder blade down either way. And then come on up, come back to the reverse warrior, straighten that front leg. And then come on into triangle, bring your block with you. And then if you want to stay in triangle, stay. If you want to come into half moon, maybe you move into a lunge first with the left hand down, and then pick up the left leg. If you came into half moon, put that foot back down. Come back into triangle for a moment. And then circle the arm around and down. Come on into a lunge, and let's bring that back leg forward. Exhale. And roll yourself up. So we just need to balance, because I approached warrior two from either side. So from here, let's get your focus with that energy from the center of the earth coming up through the center of the body. And then lift up your left heel. And lift up that foot, perhaps. If it's lifted, give it a nice circle on the ankle. And then shoot that foot back like you're going to come into warrior two, but we're going to release the arms down, and we're going to come into another forward bend here. So taking a different arm stance, or you could turn your toes out and do a little bit of rolling from side to side. Bend one knee and then bend the other knee. You can pause and a stretch on one side or the other. Okay, and then both toes, sets of toes, face towards the front and come up halfway. We're just going to walk around now to that left foot and take that foot back. And here you are, down dog. You could move through vinyasa. You could come directly into child's pose. So we're all going to come into child's pose in a moment, whenever you're ready. And just take a moment to assess, how can you balance yourself more? How can you dive more deeply into that balance? Maybe it means just slowing down and taking your Shavasana now. If you've got a little bit more in you, then come on up, take those feet towards the side. Come on, hold the backs of the legs. Now we're going to come up into the boat pose again. If you want to take it a little bit higher, a little more extreme, you can. If you want to reach your arms out, go for it. Lifting the heart. And then put your feet down, open the knees out. And then if you want to come a little deeper into the forward bend this time, let yourself do that. But can keep looking for the space. Balance the forward movement with the expansion, with the breath expanding, with the length of the spine expanding. Even though you're taking a forward bend, how can you make more space in your spine? Okay, then roll on up and let's slide that left foot so it's underneath you, close to your hips, and take the right foot to the outside. Then sit down on both hips. If this is not good for your knee, you can extend that left leg out. We're just going to twist from here. So hang on first to the shin, to the right shin, and get a nice length in the spine. And then start to turn towards the right. You can take the elbow to the outside of the leg if you'd like. So feeling that energy from the center of the earth coming up through the center of the body, out the top of the head, spilling out around you. Make sure you have a clear channel for that, even though we're twisting, wringing out whatever's out of balance. Okay, and then move back towards the front. Let's extend the legs out before we do the other side. Put your hands down beside your body. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Turn your head a little bit to the left and then to the right. Then roll your chin down and around towards your collarbone and then over to the left. And then roll it around, bring it over to the right. And then roll it back to the left. And this time, let's draw a circle in the air with the nose, with the chin. And then circle the other way. And then balance, come back to the center. Okay, so this time, the right leg's going to come in, or it's going to stay extended if you took the extended version, and the left foot's going to come to the outside of the right leg. Take a moment to get this other side of the twist adjusted, get your spine long, roll your shoulders up, back, and down again. And then from that open place, turn from the heart. And adjust your right arm, hugging that left leg or to the outside of the left leg. Get your spine nice and expanded. Then breathe deep into that belly space. Then come back center one more time, extend both legs out. And this time, you can lift your hands up or you can take a strap around your feet. And we'll take a forward bend here. Come back up a little bit so you can find some more space in your spine. Find that tuck in the chin that extends, makes the back of the head an extension of the spine. And then soften, 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 balancing by softening. Roll yourself up, bring yourself forward if you need. Already, then please do. You are called to look beyond the surface of things for an answer. Let your intuition propel you into the water, allowing your memories to swirl around you and your emotions to well up as you face the unknown. Your curiosity is your greatest guide. You'll surely discover something wondrous to bring back to everyone who is waiting by the shore. But only you will truly know the value of your discovery. You know where the pearl lies beneath the ancient sands. Okay, let yourself have a couple of really deep belly breaths, heart breaths, third eye breaths, encompassing everything. And let that breath move you if you would like to come up and have a seat. Aw, Karen has her cat on her lap. Aw. Kitty's joining us for Shavasana, or for Namaste, I mean. So everybody have a lovely, lovely weekend. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes, enjoy.
Thank you, Melanie. That was fun.
You're welcome. Yeah, have a good time this weekend, whatever you do. Enjoy your Memorial Day.
Thanks,
too.
Melanie.
You look so
Mhm.
much more relaxed.
I do?
Yeah.
Than when I started, or in general?
No, from when you came back from your sister's.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it did you good.
Yeah. I mean, it does me good, but it also, kind of stirs me up a bit because it's a lot.
Oh,
It's a lot
I
of
can tell.
it's a lot of responsibility for all those animals. Yeah. All right. Love
Bye.
to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.
Very nice.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.